Are we looking right? Yeah, we are. Are we?
Hey,
Yeah, we are. Okay. We
you
did
still hear
it.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear Zizia. Hold on, let me check to make sure you can hear it. I can hear Zizia. Hold on, let
Okay.
me check to make sure you can hear it. Can one of y'all say something? Just in case?
I can say something.
I can hear
Hi.
Something.
Zizia. Oh, let me
Hey,
check to make sure you can hear it. Can one of y'all say something? Just in case?
I can say something.
I can hear
Okay,
Zizia.
cool.
Something.
There we go. Yep.
Hey.
We are good. There's a slight little lag behind this and then that. Hey, what's going on, Xander? Nessa? Score? Did you change your name?
Oh, come on.
What's up,
Can
Hey,
A?
I
people see us?
Huh?
Can people see us?
Yeah, y'all live on my end. What? What's wrong? Are you okay? No. Hey, Sharp Ninja, what's going on? Let me see. I'm supposed to go live with the homie Rice after this. So we're gonna do this for maybe an hour or so, and then I'll probably switch off of this and then go to do that with the homie Rice.
Oh, dang.
She said I look ratchet. I did say that I was going live, didn't I? Okay. Oh, so introductions. So my mom is the piece of hair at the bottom of your screen. Can y'all see my mouse?
hey.
Wait, what in the world? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, yeah, y'all can see it. Literally, I was looking at the wrong thing. So yeah, my mom's on the bottom screen. My cousin Candace is here on the left. So I was moving my mouse all over the screen because I'm like, where is it? I'm looking at the wrong screen. Oh, you haven't been to one of the lives for a long time. Okay. Because there's somebody else in the chat and their name is I'm gonna name my car Jimin so I can park Jimin. So I thought maybe that was your name too. But yeah, I appreciate you for making it out to this stream. Dang, hey, what happened? Talk to me. What we doing? Okay, so Sharp, yeah, that's actually a good question. So today I was talking to my mom and my cousin. We're talking about cancel culture. So and then we also saw that. Oh, wait, what? Wait a minute, what? Wait, hold on, wait, no. Is my Spanish instructor in my live stream right now? Cause this,
Hi, I hear about you all the time.
no way. Hola, ¿cómo está? That's so awkward for me.
Hola. Muy bien.
Yo, that is insane. Yeah, he says, see, it is. Wow, yeah. So, I don't even know how to behave. The goal of today's stream, or at least for this part of the stream, was to discuss not just cancel culture, but the latest, I guess, controversy around not just Dave Chappelle, but just the whole reaction of cancel culture to Dave Chappelle. That was the catalyst that made us discuss today's topic. So we're going to discuss a little bit about the Dave Chappelle thing, but I think that our goal today is really to just kind of dive into cancel culture and to talk a little bit about, like, I think one of the questions that we asked each other earlier was like, who cancels who? Like, who gets to have the end say, the final say of who gets canceled, stuff like that. And I personally have like a opinion that I really want to get out there about cancel culture because I'm into politics, you know. Um, so being into politics, you get to hear a lot about cancel culture, and conservatives talk about cancel culture, and they're always talking about cancel culture. So they're like, "Oh, they're trying to cancel us," and that whole thing. So I really want to talk about that. You know, we're talking a lot about this. Oh, your audio is all in the stream.
I know. I'm calling you.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Is that going to mess up your sound?
Probably. I'm gonna see if I can. Yeah, you hear that? You sh-
Yeah. I wonder if I put on headphones if it would mess you up.
you can try.
Okay.
And if I do, come on. There we go. Nice. That didn't do it. Okay. That did it. All right. That works. Okay. Oh no. Okay. So, hey, I got called a racist slur, so I followed my procedure. I hung up on him. Oh, at your job. Oh, wow. That's just the worst. Oh, and I mean, I got so caught up in the actual comment that I didn't even notice. Thank you for the five. Again, I appreciate that. Is that still audio still coming through? I think it is. Put it over there so it doesn't come in at all. Yeah, appreciate that, A. But I'm sorry to hear that that happened to you. But you know that that's kind of like something that we have to deal with a lot, and just being black in America. So let's see. Oh, they didn't like it. Your manager didn't like it because they were related. Yeah, that's rough. That's a job that you needed to leave ASAP anyway. Did anyone see the BTS concert? I did not. I don't keep up with current events all like that if it doesn't have much to do with my future politics. Cancel culture needs to be canceled. That ringtone scared the crap out of me. I mean, I got a little startled. I did. I got a little startled. Is she still looking for her headphones?
I was just about to ask, like, are we? I forgot what she was doing.
She just disappeared.
Right.
Well, I mean, people came in a lot earlier than I expected them to. So,
Go ahead and start talking.
huh?
Go ahead and start talking.
You want us to go ahead and get started?
Yep.
Okay. Let me see, cause this my phone is crazy. Like, why? I got the volume all the way down and it's on silent mode, and it's still. That's crazy that that's that loud. I want to put it all the way in the other room. But yeah, okay. So if mom wants us to go ahead and get started, then we'll go ahead and get started a little bit. Um, we'll just at least just get talking about our thing. Oh, and it now she gone.
Who?
Candy, you left?
Oh, no. I don't know why it did
I'm about
that.
to say, I was like, I said, you both left me now. I
So
was
did
like,
it when it was giving you feedback when you was joining me, right?
yeah, I'm still getting a little bit of feedback, but I turned my volume down on my phone and I
Mm-hmm.
put it far away, so hopefully my stream can't hear it anymore.
Candace, did you get my invite?
I think she sent it on Messenger. Candace. Oh,
Oh yeah.
Señor T, gracias por $5. I'm so bad at this. But yeah, thank you. Have I done my MLS homework yet? No, but I did finish my political science essay. I finished my psychology quiz, and I finished my 50 question psychology 1010 assessment. So I did three assignments today, and after this one, after the stream ends, I'm gonna finish my MLS. So I'm getting it done. I'm getting it done. I'm trying my best. Thank you again. I appreciate that.
I'm going to turn my volume down.
Yeah, I can still hear everybody. Sammy, he made it. What's going on? The main man, Sammy Tran. Is that it? Yeah, Xander, I'm in college. We trying to get a scholarship, a education. That's all. Mommy ain't like, ain't doing the work. Just came in. Come on, man. Why you going?
Okay.
Why you trying to put me out like that?
All right. So, Daquan, go ahead and break down
Hey,
again
Sarah.
what we are discussing
Oh,
and
okay.
why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So, for anybody who's just arriving, uh, we wanted to go ahead and talk about a little bit of the latest controversy. I know you guys have heard about cancel culture. So, I guess we're talking more specifically about cancel culture itself. Um, and one of the catalysts that started this conversation on us was, I guess I wouldn't even call him the latest victim, but he's been the latest person who was so-called canceled by cancel culture. Dave Chappelle and his comments in his latest special, The Closer. That was what it was called, right, Ma? The Closer.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So he had a special called The Closer, and the trans community came after him because of some of the jokes that he told in his special. So we're just talking a little bit about that, but we're talking mostly about cancel culture.
So I
So
think maybe one of
that's
the
the bulk
first
of that.
things that we should do is um, touch base on what is cancel culture,
Mhm. I
right?
mean, I
Like,
like that.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess since we're all of somewhat different generations, Candace, you're a little bit older than me. I went and donated today, so that's why I got this one. I'm poor, okay? Leave me alone. I needed that $100, like. But yeah,
That's
so
going to be another topic too.
yeah, that one is definitely a topic I'll have a lot to say on.
So let's start with the elders here. I no, I really want to see. I'd rather go start with you, the youngest, my son.
Okay,
What
okay.
do you believe? First of all, I'm Tasha, by the way, for
Yes.
anybody.
That
They
is
call
my
me
mother.
mom.
Yes. And if y'all are familiar with my channel at all, my mom was literally probably the biggest part of my channel. She was more famous on my channel than I ever was. Uh, that's why majority of y'all came to the channel was because of that woman right there. So I know a lot of y'all are glad to see her pretty face, and my cousin Candace, she is below me. Candace, before we get started, do you want to you know, promote anything that you're doing? I know you're working on a new show. Any social medias, anything like that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So yeah, my name is Candace. I'm a filmmaker, and if you would like to follow me in any of my upcoming projects, you can follow me on Instagram, Candy Rain Productions. It's the same as my YouTube for anyone who's in there. Or visit my website. And I do have an upcoming project, but I'm really tight-lipped about it, but I'm really excited, and it'll be coming out before the end of the year. Thanks.
So, Daquan, what do you? And I know about her project. It's the bomb. So y'all need to be following her for real.
Okay, my bad about that. I had to go put my phone over there because the feedback was a
She's
little
the
loud.
bomb.
Okay,
Candy Rain Production.
we got that promotion and everything. You got all your stuff
Yeah,
out there.
yeah,
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 yeah, all that
yeah.
good stuff. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So the question was, what is cancel culture? I guess there's an objective definition to that. I don't know what it is per se. I just give my interpretation of what I think cancel culture is based off of who it impacts. I think that cancel culture is just um I'll give the positive definition because I believe that cancel culture can have it was based off of good intentions. So I think that cancel culture is attempting to hold someone accountable for the things that they say or do. And if they do something that is deemed unacceptable, then they should be at the very least, made at least have those comments or actions made known to the public and be shamed for their actions. And that can go to the extremes as not only being shamed for their actions or words, but having sponsors removed, employment removed, things like that. So I think there's kind of a vague definition, I would say, or open definition, broad definition But yeah, I think that the basis of it is trying to hold people accountable for their actions or words.
It's muffled, Rachel. Sorry, I got people on my end too. Rachel, it's muffled. Is it still muffled? Can you hear me any better now? Is
The
it
trans
still
community
muffled?
didn't do it. It's other people that did it on their behalf, but the trans weren't bothered.
What about
Yeah,
now,
that's weird.
Rachel?
That's weird, because I've been hearing kind of both sides of that. I've been hearing some trans people who said that they weren't offended by it at all. Um, Not only were they
Can you
not
hear me
offended,
now,
they thought it was
Rachel?
funny. And I've heard some people say that they were offended. Um, so I don't know.
I Candace, what do you feel like cancel culture means?
Yeah, I agree with Daquan. I think like when you were describing it, it sounds like it's just a way for somebody to punish somebody else because they did something that that person doesn't like.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
So
I
like
can
you
it
see that.
sounded like you were being put on punishment. Like you said something out of pocket. Now you need to go sit in your room and think about what you did until we feel like letting you back into the public arena.
Mm.
so I guess I feel like I think I have to agree as well as far as cancel culture because I do feel like it was started with good intentions, right? So it just went a little bit awry. It
Like
um
anything that the public gets a hold of.
Well,
yeah,
yeah, if there's nobody like overseeing it, then like if there's no rules, then anybody can just come up with, oh, this offends me, you're canceled.
Yeah, the rules with cancel culture are super arbitrary, like when you actually think about it, you know.
so I feel like with cancel culture, this is what it is. If you're saying things that are offensive to people where you were able to say it in the past, you guys' generation is saying, nah, you don't get to talk about people like that anymore.
Mhm.
You cut. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we're gonna boycott,
Hey,
which
Paige.
would have been wonderful back in the 60s and the 70s. You know what I mean? Like, I
That's
wish
what it
we
reminded me of,
Mhm.
the
yeah, like
boycott.
it yes, it's like a almost like a national boycott. Like um it's almost like with Rosa Parks, we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to stand for this. And we're going to not ride your buses anymore. So it's like, if we don't like what you're saying, we're going to not watch your TV station. We're not going
Mhm.
to listen to your radio station. We're not going to buy your products because we're not going to tolerate it. And your generation is the one who kind of ushered that in.
Mhm.
They're the ones who were, because we kind of, I don't want to say we tolerated everything, but boy, they was getting away with some bull crap.
Well, I
You
think
know
there's
what
a lot
I mean?
to that, Ma. Like, I think there's a lot to digest with that because not only were the people of our previous generations, like, so let's take, for instance, black people. If you talk about previous generations of black people, they, our predecessors weren't in a, not only were they not in a legal or societal, standpoint to do the things that you can't hold people accountable if you ain't even in the same legal standpoint as them, you know. So
Yeah.
like now that we're in a better position as far as society, we're no longer considered three-fifths of a person. You know what I mean? Like just let
Yeah,
that be the basis of
but
it.
we weren't supposed to be viewed like that in the 60s and the 70s either,
No,
right?
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like now, the black people of my generation are in a better position to hold people like that accountable. Like we have a better ability to do that, not only because we're in a better position where we can get information out really, really quickly. So we're more connected than we used to be.
Hmm.
So it kind of gives you a sense of unity where you can hold people accountable because you have a lot of people there instantly, like who can support your decision or support your outrage or whatever it is.
So you believe that social media has ushered in the ability for there to even be a cancel
Yeah,
culture?
I think without social media, I don't really think there is a cancel culture. I really don't think there is. If it
There
is,
is.
do you? I really don't feel like there is, like, and if there was, I think social media definitely increased its efficacy, right? Because you wake up one morning and somebody's canceled. But I think beforehand, if somebody was going to get canceled, you'd have to read the newspapers, maybe, something like that.
Or you
And,
probably just wouldn't hear from.
huh?
If somebody got canceled back in the day, you probably just they would just disappear,
Yeah, right.
or you have to catch them on entertainment tonight or something.
Right, exactly. So it's like That's what I think. So, but that's also something else that you said. That's why I said it's a lot to digest. When it comes to that, I think that that's why I felt like cancel culture had good intentions. And I think we can all kind of agree with cancel culture having at least good initial intentions with trying to hold people accountable for things that they did. You know, if somebody did blackface, Black Twitter going to come out and be like, "Hey, make sure that all his job people know that he was out here trying to do blackface because he thought it was funny." That kind of thing. So I think that it's one of those things that just kind of spiraled out of control because you gave too many people who didn't need power power.
I think, are we starting to use the term cancel culture too loosely though? Because every time you look up it, oh, it's cancel culture. You know what I mean? It's like, I think sometimes, can't we start throwing this term around um loosely, and it starts to be kind of get disoriented, like, you know, oh, this is cancel culture. It's almost like the word is, it's used like, yo, what up? You know what I mean? It's almost like it's used all the time. So when I think cancel culture, I think big scale. I think like the Dave Chappelle situation, right? I think like Roseanne Barr, and that's another thing that I want to touch on as far as who gets canceled, like you said earlier, Quan, who gets canceled and who doesn't, and do we get mad? It's almost mind blowing and exhausting, because it's almost like, are we canceling everything? Do you know what I mean?
Who's been canceled? Who's been canceled?
Like Roseanne, um,
Was that Harvey Weinstein? He got canceled, but he was
and then
in trouble for all of that sexual
when is it
assault and everything.
so
Um,
do we cancel people from things that they did when they were younger, when they were teenagers, when it was acceptable? Do you know what I mean? I think that that's something that we need to look at too. Like for when Kevin Hart
yeah, I was gonna say Kevin
was
Hart. They
supposed
were
to,
trying to
yeah,
cancel
when he,
him.
yes, when they, and Dave Chappelle mentioned that in his in the closer, where they reached back to some of Kevin Hart's messages, and where Kevin Hart used an offensive term for the gay community, and he was just like, I don't want my kid to be gay. I don't know what word, because I did not see the special. I don't remember the word to use, and I probably need to be a little bit more knowledgeable. He used something that was, inflammatory to the gay community. And so they reached back and they grabbed it out of his comedy skit. So, do we say, what is the intent? Because I'm sure that Kevin Hart isn't homophobic
Kevin
or
Hart is
doesn't like gay
fine.
people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he definitely is.
So that's why I asked the question, like, who really gets canceled? Like, whose bag is truly stopped because somebody posted something on the internet? And I know it happens, but
Hmm.
I'm just saying, I don't, like, to your point, Tasha, everybody's saying cancel culture, and the politicians do talk about it,
Hmm.
about how they don't like it and everything like
Hmm.
that. But it
Hmm.
doesn't really exist, or is it just a trend that happens and it disappears and then we move on to something else?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that a lot of times with these bigger celebrities, when they're canceled, they're not really canceled. It's more of an attempt to cancel them. That's what, at least that's what it feels like to me. So when they tried to go at Kevin Hart, they messed Kevin Hart's bag up though, because he was supposed to host the Oscars. And because of them pulling that stuff up from his past, they removed him as a host from the Oscars. So that did mess his bag up,
Okay,
you
so
know.
that's a good question. So when we say canceled, is it temporary or is it permanent? Because when I think of canceled, I'm like, you're done.
I
Well,
think it's
Roseanne
meant to
got
be.
canceled.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think
Roseanne
it's
got
meant to
canceled.
be. I think the term itself, um, oh, A actually brings up a good point. Like R. Kelly, um, R. Kelly
He's
did
not canceled.
he technically got canceled. Like even though
I
he
guess
was
okay.
still.
So what is canceling
I
then?
think okay, so
Because we can go to parties and we will still hear R. Kelly bumping and
you will,
grinding,
you will.
and like, so I'm saying, like, so are we saying canceled like on a corporate level, or
I
canceled like the
Well,
I
fans?
well, let's hold on, because if we don't look at just who we know, there's
hmm
been a lot of people who've lost their jobs from things that they say. They got canceled from their jobs.
yeah.
Like, if like the Karens,
Yeah, I was
they're
gonna
getting
say like
canceled
those videos of those
for it.
Karens who were getting reported and fired, like male and female Karens were getting fired because a video went viral of them, racial slurs at black people or homophobic slurs, and they would get fired. I mean, the next day or the following week because of their comments, and the video went viral. So it can be small scale and big scale. I think that your
Yeah,
question was referring to maybe bigger scale, maybe celebrities.
Yeah.
the things
I
that we
didn't
can
I didn't look
see.
at that as cancel culture.
Oh, that's definitely cancel culture. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because you got to watch what you say,
Mhm.
right? Because before they were able to say what they want to say, and
Yes.
now you can't.
Now you
But that
can't.
even goes that goes for like even with the Me Too movement, that was some cancel culture as well.
It
Because
really
you don't
was
get to say this to
because and
women, you
that
don't get to
that's
talk
yeah.
like this to
Yep.
women, or
Yeah.
we're going to shut you down,
Yeah.
right? So there had a list when the Me Too movement was heavy, as you would say, Candace, like things blow up and then they kind of fizzle down.
Yeah.
But when the Me Too movement was at its at the height of being, its awareness or its popularity, there was a list of corporate people who were being fired for things that they had done in their past, right? So it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily things that they were doing now, but things that had been dug up in their past that they were being fired for. So they were being canceled. You lose your job, you're canceled. So it doesn't necessarily have to be things that we actually see, but the nurses who get fired for even being against the vaccine, right? If they're against the vaccine and they speak out like, "Oh, I'm not going to do this," I've seen them get canceled. So are we
I
on
haven't seen
different
that.
page? Oh, I have nurses who get fired for,
Oh,
yes.
well, I think that's mainly just because you say I'm not gonna do what my job is telling me to do. Like,
So how is
So is
that
that
different
cancel
from
culture?
no,
Karen getting
like
fired?
that's saying I'm not gonna listen to my boss. Like that's not cancel culture. That's saying hey, nah, my boss, nah, I don't gotta listen to that dude. Like there's
So
we literally do that all the time. You can't go into a store and say, hey, I'm not gonna wear a shirt in here, and then they kick you out and be like, I just got canceled from Kroger. Like that's not how that
so you're
works.
saying
Like
you're saying there's a difference between insubordination and cancel.
definitely. I think what you just kind of threw out is more of what the conservatives would call cancel culture. And
Okay, but
like that they're using that term and it's scaring people.
loosely,
Yeah, it's
there it's
very usually
loosely you're
it's
using
loosely to
terms.
the point where it's inaccurate. That's the thing. Like it's like it doesn't really even apply in that situation. But you are correct because politicians and conservative media are saying that these nurses are getting canceled for saying I'm not taking the vaccine. They're being silenced. They're being canceled. No, they're not. They're free to say, I'm not taking the vaccine. Nobody's stopping them from saying that. But if you're not going to listen to the policies of the place that you're employed, they're going to release you. They're going to say, find employment elsewhere.
So I want to kind of make a shift to what it is, and I want to shift over to what Candace said earlier, who gets canceled, right? And this one is going to be a little bit controversial because um, there's different groups of people who I want to say that there was this big ushering in with the Black Lives Matter movement. We started canceling the hell out of people like, yo, no more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. So then it seemed like you see these movies where it was like Black Lives Matter, and then everybody, it's like dogs lives matter, blue lives matter, trans lives matter, kids lives matter. It's almost like, you know, um, it's like, okay, we're going to take our movement, the people of color's movement, and well, you shouldn't be able to say this about me. You shouldn't be able to say this about me. You shouldn't be able to say this about me. You shouldn't be able to say this about me. And I think there's a very razor thin line with what you should be able to say. Daquan, you know that very well because on one of your posts, it's like we'll say this person shouldn't be able to twerk because their booty's not big enough, and now we're shaming. Now you want to cancel us because we said somebody's booty wasn't big enough to twerk. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like, so
technically, we only shamed them because they couldn't twerk, not because
I
their
mean,
booties was too small. Because we
well,
seen some choreography where they could tear it up
with small booties.
with small booties. But nonetheless, like I said, I accepted the fact that I was making jokes and I was cracking jokes. Like I
So
accepted
should
that.
they cancel us?
if they wanted to cancel me for that, I'm totally okay with that because at the end of the day, I'm going to remain my true self. And I didn't feel the need to apologize for what I said because it was like, I'm not telling them, hey, eat some food and gain some weight. No, I was like, that was funny because you could have chose to not twerk, but instead you woke up and chose violence. And
So what
so,
gets canceled? So what gets canceled? Who gets canceled? What gets canceled and why?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry. That was funny to me. Uh,
Whatever irritates people at the moment.
yeah, I that is
But
actually a good point. That's a good point. Whoever is the angriest about something that somebody said is probably the one who gets to determine who's canceled because I think we see that a lot. A in my chat actually brought up a good point saying that a lot of the people who were outraged at this weren't even trans people. They were just people who were trying to speak up for trans people who weren't even offended. Like last night, I watched an interview with a trans person who said that they thought the special was hilarious. And they were like, we need to get tougher skin. Like, it's not that big of a deal. He's a comedian. That's his job to tell jokes. And so it's like, okay, I think a lot of the times when you have people who are out to cancel people, they are out to look for anything that is deemed offensive to any group of people. And almost like,
Well, isn't
grammar
that why they
Nazis.
isn't that why they say it isn't
Halo.
that why they get the name extreme liberals, right? Radical
I,
liberals,
I don't
right?
think that I don't think that that term once again I think that you're applying it to one side and not both sides because cancel culture
No,
does
I'm gonna
work
get
on both
there. I'm
sides.
gonna get there. I'm gonna get there because
I think
that
it's
goes
just
to
extreme.
what my point was as far as who gets canceled. And I'm gonna say this. Okay, so we're like, okay, Fox News. First of all, I can't stand Fox News.
I don't
First,
think anybody
they
can.
have opinions. They have opinions, and it should not be called news. So
Right.
now, if you got all these people over here who have these opinions of Mexican people, of Latina people, of Black people, of gay people, that's fine. But don't call yourself a news network because you're an opinion show. That is a talk show station with people who have opinions. You're not the news. You're sprinkling the news in there and then telling people how to feel about the news. So a lot of people want them canceled. They want Fox News canceled. They want Laura Ingraham canceled. They want what's his, I can't stand that dude. What's his freaking name? Said that brown people are making America more
Dirty
poor and
Tucker
dirty.
Carlson. Yeah.
Tucker
That's my
Carlson.
dude right
You
there.
know,
I
you
look. That's
can't
my
stand
man's
that
in
dude.
there.
So,
I can't stand
so
that
we
dude.
want people like them canceled, right? So then when you have outspoken Black individuals like maybe Minister Farrakhan, you know, what just powerful Black voices, should they be canceled?
I
Do you know what I
mean,
mean? Like,
I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying, but like I said, um I think one of the reasons why Dave ran into this kind of controversy when he did is because Dave stopped joking about, well, I wouldn't say he stopped, but when Dave's joking about the black community, cancel culture is too afraid to attack him because they're waiting on us. They're like, black people, y'all offended by no? Okay. I mean, I was gonna say something, but no, okay, I won't. You know, as a black person, he can make fun of black people, right? They're not gonna say nothing. But as soon as he touches on anything else, he even made fun of just regular white people for a long time. Like in a lot of
forever.
his specials, he
Long
would make fun
time.
of,
He
like,
said that in his special.
yeah, I was gonna say in a lot of his specials, he would make fun of white people, white cops, and everything. So it's like as soon as he went somewhere that was deemed somewhat touchy, they pounced on it. And he didn't even say anything that I think the vast majority of us found overtly offensive. So I think that when it comes to the extreme people, they're going to find anything. So if you got extreme right and somebody says, "Hey, I think that homeless person should be able to get a free lunch,"
So
that right is going to be mad. They're going to be offended. They're going to be outraged. Remember they were
there
trying to
was
cancel Lil Nas X? Like they were trying to cancel Cardi B and I think Megan Thee Stallion because of their performance. Um they tried to cancel Colin Kaepernick. Like So you
Well,
got
they canceled Colin Kaepernick.
they
That
literally
they
did
didn't
cancel.
cancel him
They
for
they
life. They
actually canceled
canceled him.
him. So
They
like,
canceled him.
like
But
that's
and
that's the whole thing.
that's what it. That's why I go back to canceling because it's like he is still living his life.
Hmm.
Like that man is fine.
Yeah,
Well,
but they
I mean,
did
not
take his career from
personally.
him though.
I know,
They took his
but
career.
what I'm saying is, okay, is canceling, like I said, is it permanent? Is it
Yeah, because he
you
never
are
got to go back to
homeless?
the
Is it
NFL. That
your
was
name has been trashed? Your legacy is gone? Is it you can no longer do what you love? Like there's so many different things because
Hmm.
if you get canceled from a talk show like Roseanne Barr, you think I mean like
I mean, have we heard from Roseanne Barr since then?
no, but
no.
that don't mean that what that doesn't mean that she's and I guess that goes back to like because there's canceling in the exposure, there's canceling in the pop culture space, and then but in my mind, I'm thinking like your job and your career does not define who you are.
I mean, I,
So
I don't I
Yeah, but
don't know if that's
that's how they make their money,
necessarily.
though. That's their
Yeah, I was gonna say
livelihood.
I don't think that that's really in the realm of what cancel culture is after, right? Cancel culture is after your bag. Cancel culture is after how you make your money. That's why they'll target your sponsors and your employment, like because that's like they're not trying to necessarily destroy your life, but they do want to make a big impact on your life, and they know, as we know, the way that you make your money, the way you secure your bag is that's a big
Your
part of
life
your life.
is your
Essentially,
life.
it kind of is your
yeah,
life because Roseanne probably working in a warehouse somewhere. She probably at FedEx, as far as all we know. You know what I mean? Like,
or
so
she probably living off the interest of whatever money she made off of her career. That's
I,
what I'm saying, and I don't know these people's lives, so I don't know.
I ran into Roseanne while I was donating today. You know what I mean?
Uh-uh.
As far as I know, it's rough for all of us out here. You get canceled. That's so. I think that that's just a big part of it. Um, but I do think that I do want to elaborate more about like not just who gets canceled, because we already discussed who decides who gets canceled, and I think we can all agree like whoever's the angriest kind of decides who gets canceled. Even if it's a thing directed at black people and black people weren't angry about it, but if there were enough liberal people who were angry at something, or just any people, most likely would have been a liberal leaning person who was offended by a racially offensive stereotype or joke. If there's enough
Well,
of them, it's going to be considered, oh, this person is canceled or they're trying to cancel him.
It needs to.
Go ahead, Candace.
Oh, it needs to be somebody who is like involved, like in your atmosphere, right? Because
You would think.
why? Like, I can't cancel Harvey Weinstein. I don't mess like you know what I'm saying. Like somebody
Yeah.
who doesn't listen to Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? So, like for instance, the whole Chrisette Michelle thing. Like the reason why she was canceled is because us black people, well, not me, were offended, with
I don't know
what
who
she
that is.
did. And and it was somewhat effective because we were her supporters. And when we left,
Oh, okay.
it made an impact. So if
Right.
it's like you see what I'm saying? So it has to be somebody who was once maybe invested or connected to whoever that person is.
That's
So
true
they
too,
can
but
take
and
their
I
support
agree with
away.
that
Mhm.
because that's what they tried to do with Steve Harvey as well when he went and met with Trump, and also Ice Cube took some heat as well, and Tank he took some heat as
Yeah.
well. Ice Cube, they took some heat behind wanting to talk to the Trump administration, where we collaboratively was like, nah, we're not going to listen to you anymore. And like you said, Candace, we're their audience, right? So you can be canceled because we as an audience aren't going to listen to you anymore. We're not going to buy your stuff anymore. But I think when you go into the Harvey Weinsteins, um, and the Bill Cosby's, that is more of a legal type of thing. Because they had to, it was like a court system that had to cancel them, right? Because what was going to make, Harvey Weinstein stop doing what he was going to do? It had to
Mhm.
be the court system that stepped in to cancel him. So sometimes it's not just that you lose your viewers. I'll give you a good example would be Mel Gibson. When he said he hoped his ex-wife got raped by a pack of ninjas. right? Not a group of, but a pack of of ninjas. And he technically didn't get canceled because, as you said, Candace, we're not his main group of people who listen
Really
to or watch
keep him
his
in
movies.
business.
Yeah, so he's still, he's still making. I don't know if he made another movie since then, but would he be canceled? Or is it like you said, Candace, we go to sleep, wake up like, oh, Melly Gibby done made a new movie. Let's go peep it. You know what I mean? And
I'm
be
just
right
saying,
back to sleep.
Apocalypto, one of the best movies I ever, I look.
It is though. It is though.
I know he done said some messed up stuff, but Melly Gibson's done made Apocalypto, so you always gonna have that soft spot in my heart. I'm gonna be like, I mean,
I guess
did
I
he
like
mean
Bill
it?
Cosby too, because you kind of be on the fence with canceling, right? Because with Bill Cosby, you got the women's groups who are like, F Bill Cosby. And I'm
Yeah,
like, but the Cosby show though.
I think
You know what I
okay.
mean? Get your
So
pages though.
I think that's a real big thing because Candice, you actually touched on that earlier. You touched on the point of legacy, right? You touched on how um this person's legacy, how is this person's legacy affected by cancel culture? Are people going to no longer be able to go back and watch the Bill Cosby show because of the knowledge that you now know of, what was going down with him back then? Are people not going to be able to want to watch Mel Gibson's movies because of how we know how racist and anti-Semitic he was? Like, how does that impact? How do you think that cancel culture, if they are canceled or if they're attempted to be canceled, how do you think that impacts their legacy? Do you think it doesn't? Do you think it just impacts the individual in that time, or how do you think it affects their previous works?
I think it I think it does depend on the age of the person, because like maybe like if you're living at this time and you've watched the whole Bill Cosby thing unfold, it affects you differently than if you're probably 5 right now and then you get older and you're like, wait, Bill Cosby did what? But at the same time, because it's now such a big thing, it could become ingrained in what is passed down to the next generations to say, oh, by the way, he was a really bad guy.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna have to
Hey,
go
you
back
watching
to
Bill
Candace
Cosby?
because
Remember, raped a lot.
I'm
Like,
and then actually people will guilt you into canceling someone. You
Yeah.
watch Bill Cosby. And it's like, yeah, the Cosby show was kind of what I grew up on though.
I
You
mean,
know what I
I
mean?
guess
Like,
like I feel that way because like for me, like with the whole R. Kelly situation, like I was never a huge fan of R. Kelly. I always thought he could sing. Don't get me wrong. Like I thought he was an amazing singer. But I heard about a couple of things he was doing along the way, but I never really liked him as a person. So when I found out all of the stuff that he was accused of doing, I was just like, yeah, no, I don't like this dude. So I don't listen to his music. And like, but if somebody's listening to R. Kelly, I'm not about to be like, turn that man off, predator. Like,
you're
nah,
discussing, you're
yeah, like
discussing human because you're listening to that.
I just don't. I'm not going to listen to it because if I listen to it, I'm gonna think about the dude that's singing these lyrics. You might be young, but you ready? Yeah, I mean, now it's in my head. Like now I know what you mean, and I don't like that. So I guess it's
Yeah,
just
it is. Yeah, it's
it's
kind of creepy.
yeah.
It,
So it's
it's
like
creepy.
your legacy is definitely in my mind. Your legacy is definitely impacted because if Mel Gibson was on a set of Apocalyptos, he was looking at him like, look at these monkeys with their bones in their mouth. Like I'm like, no, Melly, please, no. Like, I'm like, please don't do it. Just make the movie. Don't say it. Like I don't want him out there. But now when I think about it and I see the thing directed by Mel Gibson, like you might as well just put racist Mel Gibson's on, on the credits. Like, cause now I'm gonna be thinking about it. So personally, I gotta say that like as we said before, I think that the severity of what you're being canceled for is super important because if you're being canceled for something very severe, like in the case of Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Mel Gibson, like when you're being canceled for something very serious like that, or at least people are outraged by what you're saying, your legacy's definitely affected. Because now when people go back and look at your work, they're going to think about the person in their current time who created that work, you know? So it's like, just like, I think Christopher Columbus is a good example for that. When we all became
Mhm.
more educated of who that person was, we no longer looked. When I'm at Columbus State, when I went to Columbus State, I was looking at that statue like, this is a horrible guy. Like, that's a bad person. So even though that work was created and it was a beautiful piece of art, I can't look at it without thinking the bad that that person did. So I think that that's the direction I'm going with that, and I think that that's why cancel culture is dangerous
I think
because
with
it
the
does impact
I
your
think with
legacy.
the I think with the conservatives, the Republicans, the Fox News, type people, I think again, like you said, they're using this loosely for you got to watch your mouth.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You don't get to just pop off at the mouth and say whatever it is that you want to say, or we're going to come at your neck, right?
Yeah.
We will go for your pockets because that seems to be the only thing that matters with certain people anyway. So
Right.
I'm going to come at your
Exactly.
pocket,
Exactly.
right? So I think that now finally we are in a position where you do got to watch your mouth. So I don't think cancel culture is bad in that regard because it's like you better watch your mouth. Now people know that you got to watch your mouth, but I think that cancel culture, we got to be careful when it does not cross what is free speech.
Mhm.
Are you
Mhm.
able to call me a dirty Negro?
Mhm.
Do you
Mhm.
see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, is
That's
that freedom of
yeah.
speech?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fair point. Um. I mean.
Mm.
So if somebody on Fox News and they're just like these dirty Negroes, and I wouldn't I wouldn't for Tucker Carlson to literally say that brown
Yeah.
people are making this country dirtier and poorer, and
Yeah.
then for Laura to say on her show, shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
I mean, you
like
don't really
that
get
doesn't make
much
any
more
sense.
blatant than that. Like, um, I guess that's fair. So I
And they're
think
not
what
canceled.
I think that's something that's important to note, right? Is
We're
because
not their audience.
yeah, we're not their
Exactly, Candace.
supporters.
That goes back to Candace's point. It is they still have an audience,
Yeah,
but
and they know
so
who
let
their
me.
audience is. I think that's the point that you made, Ma, is that the freedom of speech thing, because that's been a line that I've heard a lot of conservative people say is, they're after your freedom of speech, which is like, you know, well, the freedom of speech, like if we're trying to censor somebody for hate speech, conservatives are going to eat that up and say they're after your free speech. No, this person just shouldn't be able to go to work and call their customers, dirty brown poor people. That's something that you shouldn't be able to
Are you
do.
kidding me? Like, did this dude just really say this? And that's cool with
Yeah.
y'all.
So
But I think
that's
that
the thing. You have, but I think that's why I wanted to touch on that, was because it's like, from my experience in the fact that this is part of like my interest is politics. I'm seeing not just the liberal side where they're practically offended by everything, but I'm also seeing this side where they're saying horribly offensive stuff and they're also triggered by everything. You
yeah,
cannot do nothing. They wanted to cancel people and they were outraged because Mr. Potato Head changed their name. Like, they were mad because Dr. Seuss. Did you not see that, Candace? Mr.
Mm-mm.
Potato Head, the company, changed their name to Potato Head, and they were outraged. This was a story that ran for a solid 5 days on conservative media. I kid you not. I followed the story because I was cracking up for a week straight. Not only did they do that, but the week after they were upset with Dr. Seuss, the company that publishes the Dr. Seuss books, for getting rid of their own books because they said these books don't reflect what we want to put out anymore, because they were like, we don't want this message coming out. We feel this might be offensive. So they
Mm.
decided we're going to take our own books off the shelf. Nobody canceled them, nobody forced them to do it, but they decided we don't like this imagery. We don't like this message. We're going to put out these books instead. They got outraged by that. They got outraged by Lil Nas X kissing a dude. They got outraged by Nicki Minaj and Cardi B because they were too sexual on stage. I saw that. Well, not Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, I think. They were outraged by that. So it's like, you have one side where they're offended by everything, but the other side is just as offended by everything else. and they're both trying to cancel each other all the time. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
literally how it is.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
so I think that one of the things that and see, we can't get really into the nuts and bolt of Dave Chappelle's show, but I think that your viewers would be very interested in our position on it. But that's not what this show is about. It's about cancel culture, because the Dave Chappelle show within itself is a whole hour discussion, right?
Mhm.
It's within itself. It's a whole entire discussion. But I think that maybe one of the things that we have to be sure that we're doing is we are understanding and respecting this thin line between uh, freedom of speech and cancel culture and hate speech, right? So, and what is the intent of what someone says? So, when people tell me to get on board with certain things and be mad at certain people, I'm not going to, because what was the intent? So, when they go back and they dig up stuff from when somebody was a kid, a teenager, and they dressed up as uh, Wonder Woman, and they, or I don't know if they wanted to be
Pocahontas.
Beyonce, and
Oh.
they put on, you know what I mean? Like, now you know better,
Mhm.
but when you go back and you're digging up pictures of somebody wanted to be Diana Ross, and they kind of tanned their face out and put on a big wig, and they're like, look, they did blackface. I'm
Mhm.
like, nah, come on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I think that there has to be some type of, come on,
Yeah.
man. There's got to be, come on,
Yeah.
man.
You think usually those moments are triggered by something that they did in the present time to make people even want to go back and find out their
Sometimes it's
history
not. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's people who literally like if they
line?
hate somebody enough, like on YouTube, you see this a lot, right? So I actually talked about this with my chat before. BTS is a big group, and so they have a big following. There were groups of people that would get together when BTS would drop a video to go to the video and actively dislike it. And that's a thing that they took time out of their day to do. So we know that there are people who are petty like that. So if they dislike a person enough to do that, they'll dislike them enough to look through their old tweets just to find something controversial. They'll look through the old pictures to find something controversial. So I think a lot of times when stuff like that gets blown up, it's most likely because somebody was trying to be petty and was trying to get them caught up on something. Because you're not going to go back and look through somebody's stuff 6 years, 7 years, 8 years ago, you know, to find some of those things. I don't think personally it's triggered by something that happened in the present. I don't.
Hmm.
I think that sometimes it was a good point, because sometimes it is something that triggers and then they'll go back. But
Yeah.
from what I have been seeing lately, they just been going at everybody's neck for everything.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
just like, that's not even really a thing. And it can get to the point where it's so much that people collapse back into we don't care again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that we have to be very careful to where it's just like the boy who cried wolf. Everything can't be something.
Yeah, everything can't be offensive, and you're already starting to see it. You're already starting to see this kind of pushback against cancel culture, not only because it's being used so loosely to where anytime anybody wants to hold somebody accountable for something, they're trying to cancel cops. Like, no, he just shot a guy in the face. Like, that's we're not trying to cancel him. He did a bad thing. So it's like they're already starting to try to get that pushback against cancel culture and trying to get people angry with cancel culture, which is like I said, in its origin stages, it's just accountability. It's just holding people accountable of things that they say or do. Um, right now, we're suffering because there's no organization to this outrage or this movement. There's no lines drawn. There's nothing to it to organize the rage that people feel or outrage that people feel. Where are the lines at? What can you and cannot can you not say? So can you joke about black people stereotypes and you draw the line there and then blackface is on this side? Or do you make it a little further than that? Like where are your lines at? And I think that because nobody really knows where those lines are, that's what's leading to everything being deemed offensive enough to be worth, canceling, you know.
I think um that sometimes, and I hate to say this, but I feel like sometimes, because remember where we were like, listen, especially for white people, we're like, you need to stand up for us. You need to have a
Mhm.
voice.
That
If
was a
you're
big one.
silent, then you're complicit. You
Silence
know what
is
I
yeah,
mean?
violence, yeah.
Yeah, but now it's almost to the point where it's just like, okay, now y'all going a little bit overboard. We didn't think we had a problem with that.
Right.
Like, calm down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, listen to our voices. I literally be having people on my page
I know, I
telling
see
me
it.
how to feel.
I
They
know.
be telling me how to
Like
feel.
as a
You know
black
what I mean?
person, you should be offended. Be like, but I'm not. So you
Exactly.
shouldn't
And
be
I'm
either.
like,
Like,
yeah, and it's like, but I appreciate it, and I love white people as our allies,
that's
but
it though, Ma. That's right there what you just said. You appreciate the sentiment. It comes from the right place.
it
That's
does.
literally cancel culture. It comes from the right place, but you have to tell them where the line is.
But
It's a
sometimes they
good
don't
thing.
listen.
I know.
Sometimes they
I know.
don't listen. And that's when I feel like that's where they be like radical liberals, because I'm just like, damn, you're not even listening to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm telling you.
Yeah. You're not a black
So
enough person for me to listen to, buddy. Like that.
I've
That's
had
how it
people,
starts to feel at a certain point.
I've had white friends unfriend me
Yeah.
because I don't agree that I should be offended. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, and that's not just with people of color type things, it's with women type things too, because I'll just be like, yeah, but that wasn't really offensive though.
Yeah, Sarah
And
says that's
so,
social justice warriors. I guess that's a good term for that because at this point, a social justice warrior isn't. I don't think that that has any good positive connotations to it. I think a social justice warrior is kind of that same keyboard warrior, that person who's just, ready to argue and debate and fight behind the comment section of anything. I think that does kind of fit in the whole thing, like social justice warriors, and I think that's probably where a lot of this cancel culture toxicity comes from. The frustration with it because of a lot of social justice warriors who are just outraged at everything.
so I believe I go ahead. I'm sorry, Candace.
Oh, I was Paige said something earlier about when you were talking about the freedom of speech stuff, and as
Hmm.
far as like the line, I think, well, let me say what Paige said. She said that freedom of speech doesn't mean that you can just say whatever you want and get away with it. Like there's still going to be consequences. So when you're talking about they're taking our freedom of speech,
You
okay,
know, you could say
but
it,
there's
but there's
still,
consequences.
yeah, but there's still
Very well
consequences
said.
to your
I
actions.
like
That
that.
doesn't erase
I like
that
that.
part.
Right.
I like
Like
that.
so when you talk about the line and like what can be canceled and what isn't, it's kind of like beauty, it's in the eye of the beholder. So if you are offended by what someone said, then I feel that you have the right to express yourself just like they did.
Very true.
And if everybody agrees with you, then here we go.
Okay. Yeah. My so somebody in the chat, Sammy, he actually pointed that out. He was talking about how art is subjective, and it's up for interpretation, and that's the beauty in art is that it can be interpreted by everyone differently. Like it doesn't matter. It can have literally infinite interpretations, no matter depending on who's looking at it. That's the point of art. So when you go to the point where you're trying to cancel the art itself, then I think that's when it does become a danger because it's like now people are in a position where they're afraid to make art that's truly expressive. You
Mm.
don't want
Did you
to
guys
limit that.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead, man.
Candace?
No, was you gonna say something?
No, Candace, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, like, since you just said that, let's go back to R. Kelly and Bill Cosby real quick.
Hmm.
So like as a creator, as an artist, that doesn't necessarily mean that whatever action that got them canceled was involved when they were creating the art.
That's
But
I
with
know
true.
Bill
that's a
Cosby, it
reach.
was.
That's
It
true.
was.
I know that's true. But you also have to take into account that he is still the person responsible for that art, no matter what time period he created that art. So when you go back and you look at that art, like I said before, you're going to think about the person who created that art. And you're not going to be able to prevent yourself from thinking about the negative things associated with that person who created that art. And I think
You
that's
know,
the only point I was trying to make.
Right.
you know on Seinfeld, the character Kramer. where he had that ninja rant. Inward,
Yeah.
inward, inward, inward. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
But
Who is? I can't remember the dude's name. I know what you're talking about though.
his name was Kramer on the show.
Yeah, Kramer on the show. Yeah.
But Seinfeld is still on TV, and I don't see people going hard in the paint about that. You know what I mean? I guess maybe it. What is the level of the act as well? Because with Bill Cosby, it was rape. That's against the law,
Well, I think that
right?
that point that you're making is because they're not going to cancel Seinfeld show because of somebody
They
who was
tried
on
to
the
cancel
show.
the Cosby Show. They won't
But
play the Cosby
it's
Show.
That
because
was his
Bill
show.
Cosby. It's Bill Cosby's show. If Jerry Seinfeld came out and did that, then they probably gonna be like, all right, we gotta cancel Jerry Seinfeld. But that Kramer dude, have you ever heard anything from him after that incident?
Well, I had never heard anything from him after Seinfeld.
Well,
So
that's what I'm saying. But that's
that
true. That's
didn't have
true.
anything that didn't have anything to do with that didn't have anything to do with his rant, right?
I realized that.
Because
Yeah.
because his career was kind of it, that's with any entertainer. After you have been on this show for all these years and you're wildly known for this person, sometimes it's really hard to get another a role, right? So that's just Hollywood. But I'm saying, and I get your point, and I agree with, hey, it was the Seinfeld show, but he was still a major character on this show. You know what I mean? Like, so
But
I
it's
feel
not his
like
show. It's not his
yes,
show.
but there was a lot of other people on the Cosby Show,
I
and
realize that,
so
but it is
so.
Bill Cosby's show at the end of the day.
But listen to what that did. Bill Cosby was probably one of the most complicated things that I've dealt with as a woman who was a victim of sexual abuse. You know what I mean? It was really difficult for me with the Bill Cosby issue because Bill Cosby in the Bill Cosby show was wildly
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
motivational
I
for
went ahead
me,
and muted my mic
right?
real
It
quick
was
just
extremely
to talk
motivational
to
for me.
y'all.
So do I
Um,
just take all these feelings that I had growing up
I'm
wanting to
sorry
go
that
to
I haven't been able to
Spelman,
talk to
you know
chat
what I
as
mean?
much
Like
as I wanted to, just
believing
because,
that you could
like,
be a parent
unless I mute my
you
mic,
don't
they
have
can
to
hear
be
me and it kind of messes things
from
up. But I do
I
want to
can't hear
interact
you. Are
with y'all
you
because you
talking,
guys have been
Daquan?
really active.
I think it's a
I
mute.
muted my mic to talk to chat for a second
Oh,
while
okay.
you were
So
talking. I can still hear you though.
um so I it was very difficult for me, but then you also feel bad because it's just like,
Yeah, I like the fact that you guys are
well,
really active
you
right
got
now. I
these
really
people
appreciate
who,
that
and I don't know,
because
Candace, tell
I
me
didn't
how
want
you
to
feel
have
about
this
this. You've
topic
got people
discussed
who
today
kind of
without
shame you for
you guys
not
being like feeling like you're being a part of it. So I've been
boycotting
typing.
them.
That's why I've been
Do
typing
you know
is
what I mean?
because
Like
I wanted you guys to be able
I
to
want to say that it goes into
speak
Dave
on this, and I'll
Chappelle
try to
too.
reply the best
There's
that
a
I
lot of
can to
people
you.
who are
Sammy, I
afraid to
appreciate you
say
being very
I'm with
active,
Team
and
Chappelle because it's just like, no, we
many
got
of
to
the points that
boycott
you
him. So
made
you're
have
just
been
like, yeah, but I love
excellent points. I've
Chappelle.
been seeing them, and I've
You're a
been using
bad
them in
person.
the
You're a
conversation here.
bad
I hope you
person.
noticed that.
You know what I mean? And like with Bill
Image, I've been
Cosby,
trying to use some of your
I still
points.
love the Cosby Show, and if it came
Sarah, yeah,
on with
any
the
of you
different
guys who are
world,
here,
I'm probably
or
going
I'm
to watch
sorry
it
that you're so
because
lost.
I can't not be motivated by it. It was part
Dan
of me
Masterson was one of the
growing
main
up.
characters, not the
It
main
was
character, so that's the
part
one.
of
Right,
what I
Paige. That,
loved. It was a
yeah,
part of
yeah,
I could go to college
yep.
too and could be from a parents who were lawyers
That's crazy.
and doctors. It meant a lot. How do you
Yeah.
just get
Oh,
rid of
yes,
all of those
Sammy. Yeah.
feelings?
Yeah.
You know what I
Context
mean?
and
Like,
intent is very
how do you
important.
just rid of
Yeah.
that to cancel this person? How do you do
I
that?
don't I don't think you do. I mean, I think it's like it's definitely a personal decision. And just I mean, the Cosby show, it's like when you talk about canceling someone and like removing their show off of the air, the Cosby show had a huge cast.
Mhm.
And I don't know about anybody's pockets, but I'm sure the syndication pays them all.
Mhm.
So
That's true.
like if he messed up in what he was doing in his personal life with his decisions, why is my check like, why are you messing with my check? I was just
Yeah.
Ruby
Yeah.
or Rudy.
Right.
You said I was just
Like,
Brody.
I was just Vanessa. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I like. I was minding my business.
Yeah.
So, I think it's, and that's where it kind of gets,
Muddy.
Yeah, muddy, because it's like, okay, yes, this person at the top did a whole bunch of stuff, but you cannot say that he did not create great opportunities for a lot of Black
I
people.
mean, you
Well,
can't
for
you cannot
HBCU,
understate the amount of impact, positive impact that he had on black people in the black community as a whole. You can't really
One
understand
of
it.
your
Like
favorite
it's
specials, Daquan,
yeah, one of my like
was
I
with
when I was having really bad nightmares growing up, like I had to go to sleep to Bill Cosby's stand up special every night. I had to put it on every night because of my nightmares. And it was the only thing. Literally, I would wake up like 3 times a night to put it back on, to rewind the tape and put it back on because it would help me go to sleep. Like that's crazy because it was so like I found it so funny when I first watched it and it was so warm. It made me feel so happy. So it was
he was
like
amazing. His
yeah,
comedy
like
was absolutely
that
to,
was the crazy thing about it, you know. So he definitely, I was like I didn't want to see that impact him, you know. I love
he
that.
was a comedian who did not cuss. Him and Sinbad to me was just like him, Sinbad, Carol Burnett, these comedians who were wholesome, who could make people roar in laughter without using, derogatory language. It was just like, oh my God, listen to this dude. He's freaking hilarious. So he influenced me even as a comedian,
Mhm.
so though, y'all both know that if you don't cancel somebody who is canceled, they will cancel you.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's what cancel by association.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Like
Who
if you
did
like
that
if
happen to?
no, I'm saying like so say people knew that I was supportive of Bill Cosby or whatever, or if I had a Cosby show poster or something, somebody would come to my channel and literally not watch me
I think,
because
but
Like
I
Blue
think,
Shot?
yeah, I think that there's a slight difference in that because that's where the term cancel gets used loosely because you're going to get hate for having an opinion online. That doesn't mean you're getting
oh my
canceled.
God, yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can talk. I don't like the Fast and Furious movies. Here comes the hate. That doesn't mean I'm getting canceled, right? So just because I can go out and say I still like R. Kelly's music, that doesn't mean I'm going to get canceled. It means I'm going to get hate. It means I'm going to get negativity. It means I'm going to get
No,
flack.
I think there would be a group of people who would
Yes, just like there will probably be a group of people if I was a large enough person and with a big enough platform, there would have been a group of people trying to cancel me for my comments about the girls with little booties, or the women with little booties. I don't want to say girls with little booties. That sounds awful. Like the women with little booties, like like. But there will probably be a group of women, the coalition for little booty women, and they'd have been out there with picket signs, little booties matter, even though I'd have said that in other videos. So I think that's an important thing to differentiate. And I think this is for everybody, right? This is with anybody who talks about cancel culture. I think that when you talk about cancel culture, too many people will associate negativity that you get for an opinion you have, which is literally anything online. I think they'll associate that with cancel culture because there are people who have such an extreme dislike for your opinion that they will not support you. They will not watch you. I have had people who say they will not watch me because I don't like One Piece, which is an anime. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm getting canceled by the One Piece community. It just means that there are people who have extreme, feelings and emotions, and they're going to express them. Just like Candace said, that's fine.
So what about and I love the point that Candace made earlier about it depends on your audience, right? So Roseanne Barr could probably get on a Fox network or start her own show, and there will be people who will support her. Now, but I do agree with you, Daquan. They'll light your pockets up because you're not going to make as much on your own as you would with your ABC show. You know what I mean? But she could definitely have her own group of people who grew up watching Roseanne, because I did. I loved Roseanne's show too. She brought that. It was almost like a spinoff of Married with Children. Oh my God, Married with Children is still doing their thing. That show is offensive. The stuff they be saying on that show, they make fun of everybody, right? So I mean, Married with Children, I'll be watching that show like, oh, they still playing this? They haven't canceled it yet. And if you watch Married with Children, they say
I
some
have to
stuff,
watch it
you be
again.
like, yes, they'd be saying some stuff. You be
How
like,
offending.
damn. But why didn't they cancel them? Why didn't they cancel Married with Children? Because Married with Children is a show that is about comedy. It's a comedic show that makes fun of, and I guess that goes back into the Dave Chappelle thing. If the dude from the NFL who just got fired, It
That
was one
Raiders,
of
the
the
Raiders
coaches
coach,
who said that the black GM's lips look like tires, Goodyear
Goodyear
tires.
tires.
Yeah,
I
so
laughed
he
about
said
that. I
that.
shouldn't laugh, but I thought it was funny. I was like, God
but
dang.
but Candace, that's a good example. He got canceled. He got fired.
You
He
can't.
lost his job.
Yeah, yeah, all day.
You know,
He's
and
not a comedian. Your
he's not
job,
a
you're
comedian.
not a
So with
comedian. So yeah,
exactly,
your job, and then you work with black people all day, every day. A lot of your players is black. So I think there's a good point to also make. When you make a joke, make sure the person who is the punchline of your joke thinks it's funny too. You know, if you gonna make a joke about black people, maybe check with some of your black people friends, your black associates, black family members. See, like, hey, is this too much? Cause I said that my black coworkers' lips look like Goodyear tires. Is that doing the most? Like
he's racist. He know he
that's
racist.
what I'm saying. So it's like it's real easy to tell. You're not even a comedian. If you're a comedian, then maybe we can debate about it. Because, like I said, Candace, I thought that was really funny. I
I
I
love,
shouldn't have
I
thought it was
love,
funny.
I love
It's
her.
funny.
I love her point, and it keeps playing back in my head with what she said. It depends on who your crowd is,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
And
you
it
already
really
said that?
does
Okay, I
because
just repeated what Candace said, so I'm not special. Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, no, no. I mean, she said that
I'ma
early
go,
on, and
y'all. I'm a
me and you were like, no, nah. But it is absolutely true that, like Candace Owens, black people done canceled her. Condoleezza Rice,
Yeah.
when she made those dumb, stupid comments that, oh, critical race theory,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be taught because you shouldn't hurt white kids' feelings. What?
Yeah.
Black people, but then we being
I was gonna
canceled.
say Condoleezza
Not
Rice
racially.
tried to come back to the black community. We was like, no, stay over there.
Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
tried to
Stacey
come back.
Dash
It
tried
was
so hard.
worse.
She.
No, you still canceled.
What was
You
funny
still
is she
canceled.
tried to come back to the black community while selling a book. She was like, "Hey, black community, can y'all take me back? Also, I got this book. Go check me out on Instagram."
So
Like,
that's right. But Candace is absolutely right. Candace Owens say things that we don't like, but she's not canceled because all she got to do is go to Fox News. All she got to do, you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
Right.
There's an audience for everyone who
Yeah.
gets canceled,
And that's
except
that's
for
yeah. Yeah.
Except for
unless you're not
us.
in entertainment. Go ahead, Candace.
No, I was gonna say except for us because I forgot about Stacey Dash.
Mhm.
Like, and I would say, yeah, she's canceled. 'Cause
She
we,
is.
like, as a collective, we don't mess with her.
But I think
And I
that's
used to love
important.
her.
That's important. Yes, mom did. Mom loved Stacey Dash. She loved her.
Listen, when I
Yeah.
tell you I love Stacey Dash since Clueless, that was my girl crush. Like if I was gay, that would be somebody that I would be like, please marry me. Like Stacey Dash was everything. Like, oh my God, I love this woman, her beauty. I loved her acting, her smile, everything about her.
Mhm.
And then she just went left, and I was just like, yeah, you
Well,
canceled
technically, she
me,
went
man.
right, but
She went right, and I canceled her. You know what I mean? But just because we did, and Steve Harvey, when black people was like, we tried to cancel Steve, and that didn't happen because he was still on a Family Feud, like dun-dun-dun,
did we try to cancel
But
Steve
that's a
Harvey?
good point though, because what if we cancel someone and they just hop over to the other side?
Then
Like,
yeah,
oh, you
they're
back.
straight because like Ma just said, Candace Owens. What's funny about
Yeah.
Candace Owens is that she used to be a liberal. She didn't like Donald Trump. She had videos out there like, yeah, she did not like Donald Trump. She was actually liberal. And matter of fact, she was so hardcore that she sued her school for racial discrimination and won because she was the target of you're muted, cousin. You're muted.
Oh, I was just saying, I think I remember that.
Oh yeah, so it's like, so she was right there, like on there. And I think what's important is that she made her switch and she knew what she was doing. She knew that we wasn't going to take her back. So she full
yeah,
sent. She full
yeah,
sent into her community
yeah,
and was like, I don't support George Floyd. He did this and he did that.
yeah.
Black people, black on black crime. Like she knew when she made that turn, when she made that switch, she knew like I'm not going back to the black community, and she knows that we're not going to accept her because
So what
of
about
all the things that you said about black people. you
So
know.
what about the people who are not in entertainment? Who, because the baby, Dave Chappelle said,
Yeah.
don't cancel the baby. But the baby did say some old effed up stuff, man.
I
You know what
can't
I mean?
remember
You
all the stuff he said though. Like I know
you
that he
can't
said
be
some stuff
calling
at the
you can't
concert that he said, but I don't know if
oh
he followed it up with anything after that.
he apologized.
Did
Do
he?
you remember when Bradley Cooper, was his name Bradley Cooper, the NFL dude, when he was at the concert and they caught him saying nigga, 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 nigga?
Mhm.
You remember that when
I
Bradley Cooper
I
did
don't
that?
remember. I don't remember the actual story. No.
Oh, I remember
Bradley
because I
Cooper's an
remember
actor.
being like,
Yeah, I was
do
gonna
you
say
remember that?
Bradley Cooper's an actor, isn't he?
Not Bradley Cooper. His name was, I think it was Bradley. Hold on.
Oh, she going to get the thing.
Hey,
Oh,
what was that
Pop
Bradley
gonna know.
dude's name who was calling the black dude, the football player who was like nigga, 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 nigga?
I like how she said that again. Like, you and that one actor who said nigga nigga nigga. Like, come on, man. Like,
Oh, listen, remember this? He was at the game and they caught him on a hot mic.
caught him on a hot mic. Everything he said in your
Oh my
vids, I never had a problem with it because it was funny, and there were things
He
you didn't
can't
know.
remember his
That's only
name,
because you
but
didn't want.
his name was Bradley something. His name was
Yeah,
Bradley
that's
something,
actually
and they
true,
caught
Sammy.
him
Like,
at a
there were
concert, and
things that
he
I
was
had to
like,
take
"What's them
accountability
N
for
words?
when
We'll
it
come over
came to
here,
like
them N
saying
words,
things
them
about
N
Korean
words."
culture.
And then it was like this
Um,
big
I
whole
remember a lot of
thing
people got
where
mad
it
at me
came
when I
out,
asked if a
but it
hanbok
was
was a
right
kimono,
before cancel culture came
and
in,
they were
and
people were upset with me for that,
he still was
confusion.
playing with those N words
So I tried to like make sure
that
that I
he's
came
on
out
the
and was
team
like,
with.
"Oh, I didn't
You know
know
what I
that.
mean?
That's my bad.
Like,
I'll
he
call it a
was still
hanbok
playing
from now
football with
on."
them N words. They
First and
ain't
foremost, the joke has to
canceling.
be funny and the intent has
They
to be
ain't
taken into
canceling.
account. That's
So,
true
And
too,
and
sometimes
Sammy.
it's
Like
different for
that's
them.
true too.
huh?
I said sometimes I think it's
For
different
example,
for
look
the
at Wild 'N Out. I love
athletes,
that show, and in the show they
even
made
though they
Asian
have
jokes.
like a
Was like,
huge fan
that's
base. Because
true.
think about, I'm not
That's
going to throw
true.
out numbers here, but we've
That's
heard a
true.
lot about the athletes like having domestic issues
That is very
and
true. That Well, the whole
doing
purpose of
some
Wildin'
some
Out
things
is
that
to
we will
be
drag
wild,
everybody else
And didn't
here
they
and
make a
fro
person
about, but
like
it's just really
cry
glossed over when it comes to
and
them.
leave the
So
show?
maybe
It was a
that's
girl. I can't remember her
Yeah,
name, but
because
there was a
who
girl who
have
was on
we
the show who
seen?
cried.
Okay,
You
so
know,
you had that one that was
that was
basketball,
a
the one
teachable
who
moment
had to
though. The
sell
clothing.
his team
Yeah, that's the thing though, right? Like
basketball because he
I
said he didn't
wasn't
want
oh
black
intending
no,
people
to
at
be
his
offensive. I
games.
wasn't even joking, right?
I
I was
But
just
his
didn't.
trying
but his
to
girlfriend was
understand
black.
something. So it was a very teachable
You
moment.
know what I mean? So
They
I think
saw my
that
ignorance, but people reacted negatively to my
it's
ignorance.
so weird because
And instead of
I agree
teaching
with you
me,
where it's just
they,
like cancel
got mad at
culture.
me. So
Who
that's
are
just
they
kind of
really
how that is.
canceling? But we are putting pressure on people to be
Oh shit.
canceled more so than ever before, where they
But
do have
sorry.
where they do have to be accountable for what they say.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I
And I
think that goes back to sorry, I keep cutting you off.
oh no, please go ahead.
I think that goes back to like, what are we canceling? Because Gucci, like H&M, like how many times has a brand like made us upset and then they're canceled, which we are the consumers, we are the consumers.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like, no. But on the flip side, Stacey Dash, Chrisette Michelle, like other individuals will be like, no, like that's a
Yeah.
firm no.
I think
But
it's.
So
I
we'll
think.
cancel our own ish, but we won't cancel
Well,
other
no.
people.
I think it comes down to like a unanimous consent, right? When it came to Stacey Dash, we all kind of agreed, like, yeah, nah, we not feeling you. But when it comes to H&M, I think too many black people was just like me with Chick-fil-A. Was like, I don't really like what y'all say, but can I get a little bit more of them waffle fries?
Them
Like, can I get a couple more? Can I get two Polynesians? Just two. You know what I mean? Like,
Aaron loves
but
that
listen,
sauce.
I'm gonna give it to my gay friend too. So don't you think that I'm.
What you think?
I don't want you to think that I agree with you.
Oh,
Like, you know what I mean? So I think that when it came to things like that, a lot of us were upset when it came to like things like H&M and stuff like that and Gucci. But too many of us was like, I'm still gonna shop there. and
Oh,
but like, so
why
I think it's
though?
easy. I think it's so much easier to cancel a person than it is to cancel a company, for one. I
Let
think
me
that's a
ask you
big
guys a
thing.
question. Let me ask you. I think that's cool. I think that's right too, Daquan.
Hmm.
Easier to cancel a person than a company. Let me ask this. So H&M, if they would have come out and put Negro on the shirt with a monkey on there, because to me it
God
was
dang.
kind of going over. But if she put a monkey on the shirt, they had black kid wearing it. But if they would have put Negro and then a monkey and then had a black kid wearing it, would that have been for, because that again, we was asking H&M, we were like boycott for something that I didn't personally agree with. I was just
Hmm.
like, the little boy got a shirt on.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
But
I
I
think,
will say,
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I think that that could have been something like an oversight. I think that that situation had too much, like you could debate it because, like, if somebody's not paying attention and they're just trying to model the clothing with the kids, like that can be an oversight. But I think with black people, we suspicious. We like, nah, you knew what you was doing. You knew what you was doing. You didn't say the coolest monkey in the jungle and you had the one black. You could have gave it to Timmy. We were suspicious. But I think that you raise a great point because when you have suspicion of some racial intent versus blatant racial intent, I think that's when you have one of those lines that we as a people can unanimously say, like Stacey Dash, like Condoleezza Rice, like Candace Owens, that you crossed and you can't come back. And I think that we would have had a much better central and unanimous effort of canceling H&M as far as black support is concerned if they did something like that.
but should H&M care, because how much of their clothes are they selling to us?
They won't know until we actually have to cancel them.
Yeah.
You don't know the power of the black dollar until you lose it.
I
Well,
think
I
I
mean, just
think
like
it's
Gucci, you know
frequent
what I mean?
there.
Like, why are we still buying Gucci? Like Candace said, why are we still buying Gucci? You
We
know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I really can't say. I don't know. Maybe for
it's
something like Gucci because it's
It's just not a
so
big deal.
big, maybe you
just
would
because it's
need
cute.
it ain't though. I don't know. I don't
That is, people still like to. And plus, if I don't shop there, but if you were a customer, you probably like, man, I ain't about to stop shopping here with no turtleneck.
yeah, I guess like
What did Gucci do?
They had the Sambo lip turtleneck.
yeah,
It like
they
went
they
over
yeah.
your mouth.
It was weird. Like it was a turtleneck that came up over your face with like the overly big red black lips thing. Like
Like, why though? I
yeah,
mean,
it
you know
That,
what
was
I
but
mean?
that goes back to Daquan. Like, why? Like, you're suspicious. Like, why would you do that?
yeah,
Like, do you not know the history? Like, why would you create something that
right,
looks so similar to something that's offensive to other people?
exactly.
But if they're not in touch, you know what I
But
mean?
that goes back to what people were really upset about, which is the representation. Why don't you have anybody in the room? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you? And if somebody is in the room, why aren't you listening to what they say? And then who is in the room? Because if Candace Owens is in the room, don't
Yeah.
nobody
Well,
care.
what if Candace Owens ain't even in the room? What if it's all
Right. So
Tom, Dick, and Larry's? Like, if that's the only people that's in the room, then yeah, you don't. Your room for oversight is really high. So if somebody saw something like that and they saw it on a doll from old school history and they don't know their black history, which I'm sure because many white people in America didn't get accurate black history, so they may not know the implications of that. They might have just saw it and it was like, we can theme something after this because it's old and we're bringing back old stuff. Because they do that a lot. A lot of people bring back traditional old things and they want to make it hip and popular because nobody has it now. So, like something like that, I think that will also kind of fall into the suspicion, like y'all trying to. But with black people, we know what y'all know what y'all doing, but they really genuinely may not know.
I
So
don't think that they I don't think that they do, because and I'm not going to stand up for Gucci. But I'm just like, what would be the need to do something like that against us? You know what I mean? Like, what would be the need? Like, we don't buy enough of their product to be like, let's make some big black Negro lips to get rid of all of the Negro
I
people. We
think
don't
I
need
think
any of
that when it comes to black people, we'll think that it would just be a slight,
them. No, I think for
like they
Tommy
just like, hey,
Hilfiger
we
to
can make
say,
anything, even if it's offensive to y'all. And matter of fact, I feel like offending y'all right now, so I'm gonna put it on a shirt and
Yeah,
do it.
I see.
I
Me,
think
I
that
don't feel
that's where
like.
our suspicion falls, right? For black people, I think that we would be suspicious of something like that.
I think it's an ignorance that they need to be educated on, and if they correct it, then okay.
Right.
But like with Tommy Hilfiger, who's like, I don't want Negroes wearing my clothes, then Negroes should have stopped wearing his
That
clothes.
I
Oh,
don't
I was gonna say, I
understand.
thought he said he didn't want overweight people wearing his clothes.
No, 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 no.
That was
That was
Abercrombie.
Oh, was that
yeah,
Abercrombie? Everybody's saying something about somebody right now. All the clothes
Yeah.
makers, like, yeah.
and the
And you
clothes
can
maker
see
for
that
him.
they should have probably been canceled for that too, because that was messed up. Like, dang, y'all make clothes for
He
people.
didn't say that. He didn't say. See, that's what I'm saying. Where we got to tiptoe on what people say. He didn't say I'm not going to make clothes for heavy people. And if he did say I'm not making clothes
He did
for
say that. He did say.
if
He
he
said
said
my
that
company
he's not
doesn't
going to
make
make
Clothes
clothes
clothes,
are
for.
not.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
my company doesn't make clothes for fat people. Like, that's literally what
he
he
didn't
said.
say fat.
He did say fat.
Did he say
I don't
fat?
think
I
he
could have
used the word
sworn he said
fat.
fat.
No, no, he
Did
didn't
he
say
not
It
say
fat.
was a
fat?
synonym.
It was right. It was real close. If he didn't say fat, he said something like
He
obese
might
or
have said
something like that.
overweight.
Like,
He might have said overweight. We'll have to look that up
I
because
was
I
gonna
don't
say,
believe
cause
he
I
said
he
fat.
said something that was like, dang, like,
He
did he
did
really like?
what he said was what he said was crash. I feel like if somebody doesn't make clothes for overweight people, I'm not quite sure why he felt the need to say it. Maybe if someone asked him a question about it.
I think it
Um,
might have been in an interview, possibly.
because I'm
But it
just like,
seemed
if
the
he
way it was
doesn't make,
presented, it was like a statement that he was making almost.
yeah, but
Well,
if he doesn't make plus size clothes, he don't make plus size clothes.
Well, it was the way he went about saying it. It's not that he's saying my company didn't, make clothes for XXLs. No, he was going to say, go ahead, Candace, because I know you got it pulled up.
oh yeah, he said he doesn't want larger people shopping in his store. He wants thin and beautiful people.
There you
Oh
go.
damn, he
There,
said
look,
that.
I told you.
He doesn't want his core customers to see people who aren't as hot as them wearing his clothing. People who wear his clothing should feel like they're one of the cool kids.
I told you. Look, that was my reaction. I told you.
What?
That's
I
why. Hold
told
on,
you.
there's more.
Oh
That's
no, my
why.
God! I didn't
That's
know
why
this.
we hire good-looking people in our stores because good-looking people attract other good-looking people, and we want to market to cool, good-looking people. We don't market to anyone other than that.
Dang.
Okay,
Now,
statement. Now that statement is cool. That's your marketing thing. We hire good-looking, cool people. I see people who do that in bra and panty stores and everything like that all the time, right? I see that. But however, his first that's all he needed to say. Look, we like Hooters. You're not gonna go into Hooters and see cross-eyed girls. You know what I mean? Like
Probably
you're
not.
not gonna go in there. I mean, let's keep it 100. You're not gonna
Probably
go into
not. No,
Hooters,
I'm saying probably not.
right?
They're
But
gonna.
Hooters don't need to be like, yo, look, we're not hiring no fatties. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We're not hiring no fatties. We
Yeah.
just we're hiring sexy women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they can even say we really would rather on be size 5 or below.
You can say that. It's literally just saying the what you're looking for in
It's
this
the
job opportunity.
prerequisite. Right, but you ain't gotta be like we don't sell we don't sell the fatties. Come
Yeah,
on, that
that's
was rude. That
I'm
was
telling you.
rude.
I'm telling you. Like that's
Then he
the
should have been canceled. You don't say stuff like that. That's just mean.
but that whole thing is like I think so. This is actually a question I wanted to ask you
What
guys
store was
because
that?
Abercrombie, wasn't it?
Abercrombie, yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody kept going there because they were like, I'm one of the cool kids. He
Well,
ain't say nothing but
see,
make
the
them
whole
want to
thing
go
was
there.
this made big waves. This was huge. And I was surprised because I was expecting a lot of backlash and I was expecting something to affect this man's pockets cuz he deserved it. You shouldn't want to go out of your way to disparage a group of people for no reason. Like you can say like Ma said, like you can say like I want, models wearing my clothes and you can just be done with it like that. And people will be like, "Okay, I don't care." Some people might get offended like, "What do you mean by models?" Like, but we're not worried about that.
But
But
then
for you to
that's
go out of your
your fault.
way,
That to me, then you got soft skin. He's
yes,
allowed to.
exactly. That's when you're kind of, on the edge of like being offended by little stuff. But when he comes out and he goes out of his way to be like, "Yeah, overweight, no, you suck. You're stupid and
That was
unhealthy."
Tommy
Like,
Hilfiger. I don't want black people wearing my clothes.
right. So that's the thing. Like, but this goes into my question is because what you've seen in the last few years is cancel culture becoming a big force, bigger than ever, and it seems to just keep growing into a even bigger and bigger force. That I think if maybe now, Abercrombie, even though this wasn't very long ago, this was only a
It
couple
wasn't.
years ago.
I think it was three
It
years
was
ago.
this was in 2013.
Oh, okay.
What?
Wow, we're
It was a while
old.
ago. Yeah.
I thought
No,
this was
that
in
wasn't the height of
2017.
that wasn't the height of cancel culture.
That's
It
what
wasn't.
that's my whole question is because at the time of that statement being made, and even with Tommy Hilfiger's statement, if they made those statements now, I think that they probably would
Wildfire.
have they would have felt a much bigger impact because of today's climate of cancel culture, and not just cancel culture, but today's climate of polarization, where you get extreme reactions for central statements, statements that aren't even radical. You're going to get a radical reaction to statements that aren't even like
Ooh,
that. So
I
that I
like
think
that.
now, if they said something like that, then they probably would have had a problem on their hands. I
Ooh,
think
I
it's just the
like
time.
that. You
You know,
said even for essential statement, you will get
yeah,
what did you say? You will
Radical.
get
an
a
extreme or
an
radical reaction.
extreme reaction. That
Yeah,
is that's the truth too.
yep.
So it's getting close to 8. So I want to say, I don't I'm not sure if people feel like we dissected that or not, but I feel like have you guys watched the movie Demolition Man?
Yes,
I believe that it was is it Demolition was it
it's
yeah,
it's
Demolition
it's
Man
Demolition Man. Yeah, where they couldn't
where
say curse words. It was a crime
you
to say
couldn't
curse words.
cuss.
Yeah,
Yeah, you couldn't cuss, you
Sandra
couldn't
Bullock.
have sex anymore.
Couldn't touch. High five.
I don't
Yeah, did you
remember.
see it?
I was gonna say I don't remember everything. I just remember a couple bits and pieces because it was
Yeah,
just a little older.
in order to have sex, you had to have on like this headgear. You weren't
Or
allowed to touch because when he went to when Sylvester Stallone went to kiss old girl, she was like, "Ew, we don't touch." You know what I mean? So we got to be close that we're not going to a demolition man type of society. But I do believe we got to be close that we're not crossing over to get into this demolition men period, but people do need to be held accountable for the hate that they say, because if they're not, they can say the stuff that they used to say to us back in the 50s and the
Right.
40s, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a line that we have to try to figure out as a society that we don't cross. There should be a line between hate speech and a freedom of speech.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There has to be accountability, but there needs to be sensibility.
Right.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
Accountability with sensibility, and there needs to be free speech, but you need to be held accountable for the bull crap that you say.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, Candace, before we head out, you got any final thoughts?
no. Don't cancel me.
I'm already
Now
working on it right
you
now.
gotta think that she even bleeps out cuss words on her show. You know what
Huh?
I mean? Like she bleeps
So
out cuss words on her show. Like me, I can see myself getting canceled, like because I'm always talking about controversial topics, and I can get canceled. What do I mean by canceled? Because they wouldn't be hitting my pockets, but my 100 viewers will go down to like 3. So
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's just when you're dealing with controversy, you're inviting cancel. You're inviting cancellation when you're dealing with
yeah.
controversy. Whether
But I
you're
like what you said.
uh
Sorry.
my don't freak out, but there's a spider on the black couch.
Oh man, I thought you was talking about me.
I I tried to tell her not to.
That needs to be recorded.
It's recorded. It's on my page
I
now.
just saw her look.
I saw it crawling, and I wanted to wait until it got past her. I wanted to wait until it got all the way past her before she before anything. But I was like, please don't crawl on her. Please don't crawl on her because. And I didn't know how close she was to the black couch. Did you get it? I've never seen her move that fast.
She was gone.
Like, wow. Wow. It was like an edit. Like as soon as I said spider, she she was gone.
He said, "Mommy, I don't." I was
Don't
like, "What
freak
is
out.
he about to say?" He said, "Don't freak out."
I
I'm
didn't know
like,
how to.
"Son."
I didn't know how to say that without without making her freak out. I had no clue how to preface that. Like, look at me in my eyes. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Breathe.
Oh my God.
I'm just
That was
glad I didn't say it was like in her hair or something like that because the camera would have been knocked off. Everything would have been broken. Oh my goodness. Sarah in my chat said, "Don't ever start with 'Don't freak out.'" Like, that's true. Oh
Hi,
my goodness.
Sarah. Oh my
Oh
God.
wow. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm
Crazy.
sorry.
I think that was an interesting show, and it was kind of like there was really nowhere to sit. It was something that really needed to be unpacked, and I didn't think of things the way that you put it, Daquan, and I
Mhm.
didn't think of things the way that Candace said it. Which I think once I leave here, I'm going to actually think differently about cancel culture and say, well, who's canceling them? But I agree with you, Daquan. Their pockets is getting hurt like Kaepernick.
Mhm.
So it depends on who you are, who's canceling you, who's your crowd. You know what I mean? But these companies, before we go, these companies, however, they are afraid, which is good. They are afraid because they're scared of getting canceled, right?
Yeah.
So if you know that Roseanne done said some more bullcrap stuff, you gonna cancel her contract. Just like with Tiger Woods, he cheated on his wife. He got canceled. It was like,
He not
did.
he not even good at golf no more. I don't even know how that worked. How did canceling make you not good at golf no more? I was like, are you doing
they
bad at all your PGA
canceled him.
tours? Like, what in the
They
world?
canceled his sponsors. Was like, give us that. You cheated on your wife, but then they put a cheater in White House. But I digress.
So I'll leave out my closing statements with I think that as much as it's probably not a good look or not the greatest look, I do think cancel culture overall is a good thing. Um, because of
I agree.
how it's shown people the power of not just unification, but the power of small voices and individual voices. You know, um,
Very well said.
and so it's like not only do people realize that my say does matter, you know, because there are people who feel the same way I do, and if we're all unified on one central platform, it doesn't matter what it is, how simple, how mindless, or even if it's irrelevant and just unimportant to most people, if you have enough voices behind it, y'all can have a big impact. So I do
That's great. I
think
love
that,
that.
because of cancel culture, we've learned a lot about the power of the individual. And so I do think it's been um, more good than bad. And I think that as we learn and adapt to cancel culture, we'll learn not only how to live with it, but how to control it to where it can actually
Mm,
be used for, predominantly good things, just like BLM. BLM was twisted and, companies try to take advantage of the movement and the protests, but overall it was a force for good and still is a force for good. So that I think I want to close out on a
Do
more
you
positive note.
do
I
you
like
feel like we would have been able to have cancel culture as Black people because we've been trying this for a long time? Do you believe that we would have been able to have cancel culture that we now have without white allies?
No. No,
yeah.
That's another topic
no,
for another
but
day.
yeah, like I was gonna say, like it's there's stuff to that because I think it's with certain issues, with things
Yeah.
that are revolved for specifically like black culture things that we have say over, we have dominion over. Yeah, we got that. But if it's big things like Pepsi, if we're gonna cancel Pepsi, we do need our white allies for that. You know what I mean? Like we're probably, yeah,
Gotcha.
that's it's
Great
it's
point.
too big. So that's just
Great,
my little two
great point.
cents. Candace, if you want to,
Yeah,
you can
I love it.
get your little 2 cents in.
No, I agree. I was thinking about that because especially like when like I don't know why Pandora popped into my head because I know they got some flack when they I forget which tragic shooting it was when they
Mhm.
came out with like Black Lives Matter and everything like that. But there was a lot of people in their comments like, "Oh, I'm not listening anymore" and things like that. So I'm thinking about like if we wanted to turn the tables, like if that was a company who we were upset with,
Mhm.
then we would need the
Yeah.
million
Right.
other of
Yeah.
customers
Yeah.
to get on board
Yeah.
with us and
Yeah.
make something
Yeah.
happen.
Ben and Jerry's was a good example of that too, because they put on their front page Black Lives
They
Matter.
did. They did.
You know what I mean?
They did.
And
Yeah.
so I that was the last point that I wanted to make, which I think that um without them coming to finally not be silent, you know what I mean, any longer, that being our allies has made an impact that finally needed to be made. Daquan, I want to circle back. I know it's 8:02. I know we're leaving. I want to circle back to the very beginning of what you said. You said when we were talking about the things being able to go on in the 40s and the 50s without being heard, and things of those nature. um, if we came to now, you know what? I don't even remember what I was gonna say. That spider scared me.
I was gonna say you thinking about the spider behind you.
Look, because I knocked him down, and I make sure he ain't coming
Oh, okay.
back.
So it was a spider.
No, it was one of those hard shell bugs.
Oh, okay. Okay. I couldn't tell because it was like the light was right there, so all I saw was something crawling,
It,
and I'm like, I
it
know we
don't
got
matter,
spiders
because
out there.
if something crawled on me, there was gonna be a problem.
I know. That's why I was like, before it comes back and tries to double back, let me let her know. But thank y'all for
Oh
coming to
my
the
god.
podcast. We ran a little long, but it's okay. It was a great topic today. Um,
Yeah.
I had an amazing time. I've been wanting to bring this daggone thing back, Mom. I've been wanting to bring this podcast back.
Listen, I have been driving around with your little brother,
I know.
16-year-old little brother.
I
I
know.
had just
That's why you're
walked
eating your
back in
fingers
the house.
up.
Exactly. He talk about, I ain't going fast. I'm only doing 70 and a
Yeah,
35.
he'll get a couple tickets and he'll get humbled. It's all right. It'll happen.
Lord
But
have mercy.
yeah, I thank y'all for coming out
Thank
and being a
you.
part of the podcast, the Geezdayday podcast. It's only the second episode, but I hope that we can continue to do this for a million more. Um, so if you would guys would like, I'd love to do this next Sunday, coming back on another topic that we all think is, real good and open some
I
minds.
I think that sometime this week I'm gonna get with you guys, because I want to discuss the Dave Chappelle issue itself.
Okay.
You
If
know what I
there's a
mean?
day that you want to get, then just let me know. And
All right,
we'll
guys.
make it happen.
They're like, we don't care about y'all's personal business. Love you guys.
All right. Thank you
Bye.
guys. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. So right now, let me see if I can change my thing. Um, so right now, y'all can't see me, but I think y'all can still hear me. Y'all can just see my desktop. Um, so I'm actually not saying bye to chat right now. I am going to open up. Let me see. Okay, so Sammy, you still in the chat. All right, Sammy, you did you ever add me on the Pokemon joint? Because I'm gonna change the stream now, um, to the Pokemon joint that we were supposed to play together. So you have to let me know because I have both hooks. I got cue Jeopardy music. I got both hooked up right now. Um, what is going on right now? Let me see. What's using my camera right now? I don't know. Mm, See, I haven't had to do like a live transition. Not yet. Of course, not yet. I haven't had to do like a live transition yet. So I know that was using my camera. Let me see if I can add something to this to where, or let's do this. So y'all get to watch some of the little technological differences. Okay, yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna. Oh, there it is. Hey, I'm here. Let me full screen myself for right now, or at least majority screen myself. There we go. That way I ain't got to see the whole Zoom thing the whole time I'm doing that. Um, yeah. So, Michael being my bad. I didn't really get to your comment. I didn't realize how hard it was going to be for me to interact with chat during the podcast. I had no clue. Like I figured that it was going to be a lot easier for me to interact with them and interact with y'all, but in the, in between stating my points and listening to theirs and trying to read chat, I could read you guys' notes and things that you were saying, and I was taking some of the things relevant to the conversation and uh, taking them into the conversation that I was having with my guests. But I wasn't able to really reply to y'all unless I muted my mic because it was kind of so much going on, and I'm wondering how that's going to sound as far as like going back and looking at that. I hope it isn't too much. Um. Oh yeah, Sammy, not yet. um. Let me see. So, Sammy, what I'm going to do, I gotta run and grab my phone. I'm going to try to, like, while I'm live, transition over to playing this thing. Um. To playing this game with Sammy if he ever gets me added. If he ever gets me added on Pokemon Unite. Now, Sammy, if you want to, we can just do Apex because I also have that ready. Well, not ready, but like I have it, to the point where I can hook it up. So you just kind of tell me because I think with it already being 8 o'clock, I don't know how you want to go about it. We can do both. We can, play some of that Pokemon joint, or we can just play some Apex. I don't really care what we do, whatever you feel like doing. But I know that I kind of wanted to do what we had talked about earlier because I didn't really have no other ideas of what I wanted to do for my stream today. I know that I wanted to do the podcast, and I've heard a lot of your thoughts about cancel culture. Um, but one more time, if you're still here viewing, can you give me your like final thoughts about cancel culture? Since I did a final thoughts with them, I want to know what your final thoughts are as far as cancel culture is concerned. So while you guys say that, I'm gonna run and grab my phone, and then I'll come back and respond. Oh, trainer ID? Oh goodness. Hold on, Sammy. I didn't see the comment that you made. Oh Lord. What is my trainer ID? I should probably. I don't know if I'm gonna need that. Where is? Oh, it's right here. So that's in. This thing is supposed to be the other joint. Okay. Oh, I gotta turn everything back on. Okay. I'm turning it on now. All right, there we go. I'm turning it on now, Sammy. I'm gonna put my trainer ID in the chat. This is actually gonna be really hard to transition all of this stuff. Goodness, that's loud. Okay. Um, should we hop in Discord? Yeah, absolutely. Um, all right. Yo, can you hear me? All right, let me see. Uh, say something else for me real quick. All right. I don't think chat can hear you yet, so let me see if I can get that all figured out. Let me see here. Nope, there it is. Hold on, let me change that to that. All right, now try one more time for me.
All right, mic test one two
There it
one two.
is, right there. There it is, right there. That's the good stuff.
All right, let's get it.
Right. Okay, hold on. Let me get this joint. Let me get this trainer ID real quick. You already
It
got
might
your
be.
joint set up?
Wait, what?
You already got your joint set up?
I think so.
Let's see.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's the. You know how if you look at your profile, like the little player card of yours. I think it's the number and the letters on top of your username.
Okay, let me see. Oh, it's getting me all the little reward joints. If I click on that, click on the, oh, okay, I see it. I see it. All right. Should I put it in a Discord call?
Yeah, sure.
All
If
right,
you
let
want.
me see. All in, it's all caps. So what's that? Well, unless you got it typed up, I can just tell you.
Yeah, I can. You can just tell me where to type it. Doesn't matter.
Okay, it's
All right. P H G H
PHGHEPF.
E P F. Huh. Nope.
Nothing?
No. PHGHEPF.
Yeah, let me type it. Yeah, that's that. What I just typed was the joint. Let me see. Yeah, so I just copied it. It said trainer ID copied. PHGHEPF. PHGHEPF. Yeah. Didn't work?
Nah. Hey, let me put it in mine. I think mine's a little different.
Um. While we
There.
do. Okay, so where do I type that in at? Do I?
If you go under friends and then friends search.
Oh, friends. Okay, and then friend
Yeah, I
search.
think I'm pretty sure that's the
Oh, a
trainer
trainer
ID.
ID. Okay, yeah. Two. I wonder if it's case sensitive.
Maybe just try it.
3 4. Try all caps the first time. Yep, I got you.
Oh, you found me?
Yep,
Bet.
there it is. I just added you, so you might see it here in a second.
Gotcha. I see it.
Okay.
There it is.
All right, let me turn on low power mode just in case for this joint. I just went way past my settings. There we go, like that. And then boom, like that. All right, cool. There we go. Um, I still think it would be fun to do a Zoom call with all of us. Yeah, Nessa, I feel like that would be something we'd have to all get in the Discord and talk about. I don't know if you guys are all involved in the Discord yet. I think you guys are. If not, there should be a link to my Discord in the description of the stream. So if you wanted to hop in there and send a couple messages, I think Sarah's already in it. I think Nessa, you already in it. I'm just never active in it unless I'm trying to make a call with Rice or Josh or something like that, or even my editor. Like that's the only time I'm really like involved with it. Okay, let's see. Uh, I'm gonna try to get this set up without crashing my stream. Now, how we
Oh
gonna go
Lord.
about doing this? Yeah, I know, right?
Oh yo, but
So,
that podcast was lit, bro. Like it was really fun.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say like I know that you said something in response. I was like that was really tough for me to try to interact with chat because I love interacting
Mhm.
with chat, but while trying to have a conversation with two other people who are contributing to the conversation at the moment,
Yeah, yeah.
it was like, man, like how do I go back and forth and then talk about chat? And plus, my mom was also live streaming on Facebook on her end. So
Oh, I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah. So it was like my mom and cousin were both live streaming on Facebook. So it's like we're all live
Ah,
streaming and we're trying to interact with chat, but I was just like, I
yeah,
think typing's probably the way to go for that because that's
yeah, and also
yeah.
like for me, it's like it's to me, I think it's okay because like we're coming to watch the live broadcast between you guys.
Mhm.
So like you shouldn't. Or I feel like you shouldn't worry about chat too much because if anything, you can always talk or readdress things after the podcast is over. Because I think that would be a lot better. Because I don't want. I would rather have a one like clear conversation between you three than having like everybody just jumping around, just like
Yeah, nah, that's
you
actually
know.
facts. That's actually facts.
Yeah.
Let me see. So if I do, oh,
Did
so
you get blood today?
I did. That's why you're seeing it. I went and donated plasma because they're doing a yeah. So like we already talked
Hey.
about what's going on. So I went and I was supposed to do it yesterday, but like right before the stream, I had just got back from donating, so that's why I still got the wrap on my arm because they said I can't take it off for 2 hours. So I'm probably gonna take it
Yeah,
off
yeah.
around 9 o'clock because it's starting to be annoying. Well, I could probably take it off now because I when was that? Yeah, no, I'm actually way past the point. It's 8 o'clock. Let me take this joint off.
Yeah, everybody had like
There's
really great opinions, like good thoughts on the whole situation thing.
Yeah, yeah. I like how we all weren't really necessarily in agreement with each other. I like that.
I
I
mean,
like
yeah,
those conversations. We
yeah.
agree, but we don't. Um. Tony B, sorry, bro. Didn't know mom was listening. Nah, you all right, Tony? I don't. Nah, you straight. It's okay. It. We're all here just expressing our opinions. So I don't think
Yeah,
you said anything that was like outlandish or off the wall or nothing like that.
yeah.
Yeah. So you straight. I appreciate that though. Being considerate. Okay.
And like,
So.
yeah, even with that, like, it's okay to disagree. Like, you don't have
Yeah,
to hate each other for it.
exactly. And I think that's really
No.
what came down to the whole cancel culture thing, right? Was like we're all just listening to each other's opinions, whether we agree or disagree, but we're not, attacking each other for having those
Yeah,
disagreements.
exactly.
Let me see. All right, so I gotta take that, and then I'm taking this one. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this as seamless as possible. And that's saying a lot because that means that that's not going to happen, right?
Hey,
Okay.
what's a stream without any technical difficulties, right?
Listen, I know that's why I'm just trying. I'm just trying. I'm just trying to like. I'm just trying to make it to where it's like the least amount of what is it? Technological differences. That's what I like to call
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen Idiocracy, bro, but that's like I kept that line from that movie because they
Yeah.
didn't know how to say technical difficulties. So they
Oh
was like,
Lord.
we're having a little bit of technological differences. It's so if you haven't seen Idiocracy, bro, you gotta check that joint out. It's
I'll probably check it
hilarious.
out. I'll probably check it out. It sounds funny.
Yeah, it's about like a world full of people that's like think of like I hate to say this, but think of Trump supporters if they
Hmm.
took over the world. Like that kind of thing, like to where there's no critical thinking involved, and then like they just started like dumbing themselves down even further. Like
Yeah.
it's like that. So the world is populated by people who are just like the smartest person on earth at that time was average intelligence like right now. And everybody, I think the average intelligence for people in that time period were third grade. They were like grown people with third grade intelligence. So it's just like the whole world is like dumb pretty much, which is the name Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Um let me see. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean, like even with that, like certain things, like when it comes to like different opinions and stuff, like I have friends who, even family, who are Trump supporters or like agree with like a lot of conservative, like ideals,
yeah.
and they also, I know one person who like who truly believes the Earth is flat and stuff like that. Like I might not necessarily agree with both of them,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean like I'm arguing or I have to hate them or anything like
Right,
that. Like
right. We're
you're
not
free
like
to
mortal
think that,
enemies.
like yeah, like we don't have to be enemies. Like if that's what you think, that's what you believe, that's okay, that's cool. But I'm gonna think what I think,
Right,
and
right,
like
right. And that's a big thing about it, right? Is because like, ow, they do this thing right where they prick your finger. So not only do I get a needle stuck in my arm, I get pricked on my finger. Like when the people who have like diabetes, like they get the finger prick, and they take some of your
yeah,
blood to test it to make sure it's safe to give plasma. So they prick your finger and then they give you the needle in the arm. And the finger prick on my finger, that thing hurts. Like it's right on the end of your finger and I can't do stuff because of it. It freaking hurts. Okay. So let me attach this because once I attach that, that's gonna help. Put the joint in there. See, I want people to see my phone screen, so that's I'm gonna leave it on the
Yeah,
home screen.
yeah. I was gonna ask. I was like, how, you can like stream the game too, or like
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
a
I'm
capture
I'm
card?
I'm streaming the game. Um, I got the capture card hooked up, but what I'm
Oh,
doing
nice.
is I'm trying to do it. So this is gonna be weird. It's gonna be like Streamception, but y'all gonna get to see not just OBS, but y'all gonna get to see the stream too because this is about to happen, and I'm gonna have to change it while y'all looking at everything. So y'all just gonna get a good look at what my screen looks
What
like
goes
half the
on
time.
behind the
Yeah,
scenes?
this is behind the scenes, y'all. So, cause once
Yeah,
I change the thing over, it's gonna look weird.
yeah, yeah.
Here we go. So we about to switch it, and then again, there's no guarantee that this will even work on the first try. So that's fun. I
Hey,
love
bro, take your
streaming.
time. I'm chilling, bro.
I love streaming. This is so
I
much
love
fun.
streaming. So much fun. Like
So
technical
much fun.
difficulties, yo.
I just be wondering how people do this like so seamlessly. Like they can just do it like with a couple clicks. I'm like,
Honestly, I
man.
don't know. I
Okay.
be struggling every time. I have like every time something breaks down, I'm like, hello, help.
Right.
I'll call like 4 different people. I'm like, yo, I need tech support, guys. Come on.
Right. Okay, so that okay, wait a minute now. Let me see if I can do this. Because sometimes let me switch it. Maybe that's why it's not working. Or it's just not working because, it's just not working. Yeah, I figured that wasn't the reason. Or is it? No, it's not. Alright, so in boom
I
like
will what?
that.
I'm gonna let you do that. I'm gonna let my dogs out real
Oh
quick
yeah,
while you get
handle
your
your
thing
business.
situated.
Handle your business. I wanted to get the Discord joint,
Yeah, you,
hooked all up,
yeah, yeah.
and before we
Did you
do the
want
thing.
me be on camera or anything, or are you chilling like this?
I was gonna say like I don't know if you're streaming or not. I figured you was gonna be
No,
streaming.
I'm not actually because I don't have a capture card. So like, if people come
Oh,
to my stream, they'll just see my like head, like top of my head, because I'll be looking down the entire time.
oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say
So I was like,
if you want to be like on stream, then I can add you for sure.
I mean, it's chill. It's up to you. I don't really care.
Yeah, I
Cause
can
like,
definitely do it.
alright, I'll turn my
Let me do
camera on when
one
I
thing
get
at a
back.
time though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure, for sure. That's what I was just like. I was like, hey, I just threw it in there.
Yeah. Definitely,
Yeah, but
definitely.
all
Let
right,
me get
I'll
this.
be back though. I'll be back.
All right, bet. Okay. We agree to disagree. We protect mother's opinion, but it's often wrong. Yeah, I mean, like I think that's the beauty in a debate. Like, um, even if we don't fully agree, it's the beauty in the fact that we can just have a healthy discourse about our disagreements, and that's really what I wanted to centralize it around was that we're able to disagree. Um, I'm hoping that this works because sometimes it wants to be difficult. Let me see if I can add this. Nope, that's not going to work. We're just having a little bit of differences. Let me see if this will do it. I want to change that. Hmm. No. Um. What am I missing, y'all? Hmm. This is interesting, right? I'm missing something because like this is I record Battle Cats right like through this same manner because Battle Cats is a mobile game. I'm trying to remember how is it a display capture? Hmm, maybe this one. I don't know. So what is that? Because this isn't even working right now, and I don't fully know why. Oh crap. Um, you... Okay, maybe I have to just do it this way. That wouldn't make any sense. Let me see if this actually does it. Something like that. We did that. Okay, that did a thing. uh, so that worked. Why didn't the other thing? Right now, this has no connection to. Is that USB? I think it is. No, it's not. It's an iPhone thingy. Hmm. These are the technological differences, right, y'all? Like, I'm trying to figure out how to get the screen ported over because when I'm plugging it up the way that it is normally, it's not working. But I can see that it's still working with the phone. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm missing. And that's still plugged up. It is. So we're just missing a thing that we're supposed to do. Let me see if I plug this back in here. Uh-oh. Watch out now. Almost fell. There we go. Like that. What if I do that? That made me disappear? Why did I disappear? What's all that about? What are you doing, Rick? Okay. Unplug that. And it still lost me. That's funny. Okay. Man. Okay. I'm having all of the troubles in the world, but I shouldn't be. I think I'm just doing something wrong, y'all. Um, already tried display capture. I tried game capture. It's just not showing up. Okay, so this is what I'll probably do, y'all. Um, I don't know if you guys are interested in this, but since I'm still going to try to do this thing with Sammy, I'm probably just going to go ahead and transfer over to my other streaming service, which means I'll have to shut the stream down for a couple, like maybe a minute, and then I'll start the stream right back up with a different name, and it'll just be right back up. So if you guys aren't doing anything, because normally when I try to do things like on the PlayStation or on my phone, I typically use Elgato. But right now I'm using OBS, and OBS just doesn't seem to really want to work with me. So typical Sunday, yeah, pretty much. Typical Sunday, it's pretty much it. I know a flat earther, but I believe their thing. I believe Israel lobbies the U.S. government. I believe the world is round. Yeah, like, and that's the thing is like, if you a flat earther, I mean, I don't really care. Like, you believe what you believe, that's fine. I ain't really tripping on that. But yeah, I just feel like if you're incapable as a flat earther of having a discussion with somebody else, which that's why I use the example Trump supporters, because my interaction with pretty much all Trump supporters was negative. I've hardly been able to have a interaction with Trump supporters without being called a name or without being called something, um, or without kind of stumping them with facts and logic. And I'm not saying that this is all Trump supporters. This is just the ones that I've interacted with, and many of the ones that I see um, that are interacted with. So it's like that's why I'm like that's my example for people who are just like not stupid, but many Trump supporters are intolerant of other views. Now, that's not just them, it's just a specific group of people that, is current right now. Kind of like extreme liberals, like we talked about earlier. So yeah, anyways guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream real quick, but I'll be right back up. We're going to play this joint, this Pokemon joint cuz it's kind of fun and yeah, so we'll just be chilling and hop back into the stream if you want to. If not, I appreciate you for coming out and hopping in and talking and chatting and interacting. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, just I will be back in a few minutes. Give me some time and I'm gonna set the joint up. Peace out everybody. I'll see y'all in a minute.